Alright, so, man, every time I watch a Korra episode, it's so exciting, but at the same time I'm like, oh, it's gonna be gone! It's gonna be gone soon! Oh, no! 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 So this episode is called The Calling, and this is, let's just face it, what this episode really should have been called is the Ikki episode. This is all about Ikki. Now, the episode starts off with Jinora, Ikki, and Milo sent out by Tenzin to go look for Korra. And, however, Pema, of course, is like, well, I don't think this isn't right, they're too young, they should at least have some adult supervision, to which, Ikki responds with, hey, Grandpa Aang was our age, with, Uncle Sokka and, Grandma. They were all our age when they went off to go fight the Fire Lord, so this is no different. And to which Ikki is kind of right, her grandfather did kind of stop a 100-year war at 12 years old, so, yeah. Anyway, so the episode continues onward, and Ikki, Jinora, and Milo they don't get along too well. With even though Jinora's in charge, she still can't seem to lock on to Korra's spiritual energy, and they're all kind of at each other's throat. It goes through a little montage of the three of them trying to find Korra, trying to discover Korra's whereabouts. However, that ain't going so well, and there's also a fun little moment where Milo kind of gets a love interest. It's kind of adorable. Milo in here has some of the best damn lines in here that just made me crack up to no end. It's kind of cool that we finally get an episode dedicated to Tenzin's children. I actually kind of like this, because all they have been supporting characters, but now we actually have this entire episode is dedicated more or less to them. And I really like that, the whole sibling, that sibling bond they have. And they're all just kind of at each other's throat. There's a great moment where Jinora actually is trying to get in contact with Korra. And Ikki's like, when you find Korra, tell her I say hello. Like, she's treating it like it's a cell phone call. She's treating it like that. Oh, it's so good. It's hilarious. But, yeah, we also have some other moments in here with Korra pretty much kind of getting sick of Toph just doing nothing. So Toph sends her out to go look for food. To which Korra discovers another moment which, I'm sorry guys, I gotta keep going back to this. The whole thing in the swamp does feel like, Luke Skywalker training on Dagobah with Yoda. Because we get another moment in here that is just like that moment with in Empire Strikes Back, where pretty much Korra is walking around the swamp and discovers, she keeps walking into flashbacks of her life where she was at her weakest moments and being attacked by her enemies. With Amon taking her bending, Unalaq pulling Rava out of her, and finally Zahir and the Red Lotus, poisoning her. And Korra's just kind of shocked. She's just like, what the fuck just happened? What the hell just happened? And Toph later discovers her, and Toph says, I knew something like this was going to happen. And to which she responds with, the swamp is trying to tell you something. The swamp is trying its best to tell you something, but and it's also kind of clear that you're at war. You're still at war with these with your enemies, even though you've defeated them. And each of them took one of your ideals to another level. You see, yeah, when you think about it, maybe I'm the last one to pick up on this, but each one of Korra's enemies, Amon, Unalaq, and Zahir, all of them, they all took these. They all took the ideals of the Avatar and perverted them in one way or another. With Amon, he wanted equality. Unalaq wanted the spirits to return, and Zahir wanted freedom. And they're all very good goals. However, they kind of corrupted them. I didn't think about that. Like, holy shit. Each one, it did something that the Avatar is supposed to do. Freedom, equality, and, care for the spirits. Each one of them did the Avatar's job, but, they went about their own way, and Korra is still at war with them. She can't let the past go. So Toph pretty much says, look, you have got to let it go. It is in the past. Put the past behind you. Hakuna Matata that shit, and get that metal out of your body. I can't do it for you, but you've got to do it yourself. So cutting back to the crazy little kids, we have Milo, who discovers a whereabout for Korra, and they start heading out, and then Milo does something stupid. He throws out the food and says, "We'll live off the land," and goes out to find some berries. And I kind of like, let me talk about this berry scene real quick, because it reminded me of something. Where, Pokey and Milo, they return and find Jinora still trying to find Korra, but what happens is that they find these berries, and they're poisonous, more or less, and they're throwing them up, and I couldn't help but think of that episode from The Simpsons where Ralph eats the berries when they're trapped on that island, and this moment where they have this moment where I just couldn't help but think when Milo is throwing up in the bushes, I couldn't help but think of Jinora saying, "How are they, Milo? Good? They taste like burning." Yes, and we also had an entire animation reel to Pokey throwing up. You should be so proud of yourselves, animators. You just had a lemur barf, and then eat said barf. Animation at its best, folks. Animation at its best. So, like I said, this episode focuses mainly on Ikki, above anyone else. And Ikki, after getting pissed off, goes, takes off. She wants some time to herself, and comes across her own pet, a flying squirrel, which I didn't think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, Ikki's the only one who doesn't have a pet. Milo has Pokey, and Jinora has Pepper, her sky bison. So, yeah, she's the only one without a pet, and it's a flying squirrel, which I thought was, oh, that makes so much sense, and it's kind of adorable. However, unfortunately, Ikki strays too far away, and is then proceeded to be captured by a pair of earthbending soldiers under Kuvira's command. And, yeah, they're, for lack of a better word, stupid. And it's hilarious because Ikki gets tied up, and she's just all calm about it. She's like, "Hey, can I just stay with you guys?" It's also kind of funny because they found the food Milo threw out, and Jinora's like, "I ain't even mad. I'm going to stay with you guys for a while." And we also discover that all of Kuvira's army, Kuvira's taken her entire army and is marching on Zaofu. Apparently Zaofu is the last free nation from Kuvira's Earth Empire. So, yeah, it goes without saying that shit is about to go down in Zaofu. It ain't gonna, because Su Yin is not going to let let her country be steamrolled into this. So, yeah, Ikki on the other hand is just like, "Hey, look, I don't even care, I just want to find Korra and we'll get out of here." And the guards are so inept, they're like, "Oh, don't worry, Ikki, we'll help you find them." And that's when Ikki kind of puts two and two together when she's looking at a map and sees that a swamp is there. That about the same time when Jinora and Milo come in and knock some heads, and Jinora's like, "Oh, why'd you do that? We were we were bonding. It was fun." And Ikki proceeds to leave with them after giving some food to the knocked out soldiers, and proceeds to lead them to the swamp, where Jinora's like, "I can't censor, so we'll just move on." And Ikki's like, no, if Korra had to be here, away from any of the soldiers, it would have to be here. She's gotta be here. And Jinora's like, "No, if I can't censor, then I'm gonna move on." And the swamp's like, "Nah, bitch, she's here." It literally grabs them and pulls them down. To which they're still like, "Nah, Korra's not here. We got to keep moving." Meanwhile, Toph brings Korra to the grove tree, which is as we all remember from the swamp episode. Also, there's another moment in here. I forgot to mention this earlier, but earlier in the episode, Toph is telling her abridged versions of past Avatar stories of how she trained Toph and the day of defeating the Fire Lord. Yeah, that was it was a fun little abridged version. It was pretty funny, but no, she's brought to the tree and connects with it, and that's when Jinora senses her, and they all find Korra. It's a big joyous moment, and I'm like, I'm a cry, and yeah, they're all united, and Toph is introduced to her, Aang's grandchildren. There's another funny scene where she's like, I like Milo the most. Then we get to Korra deciding to pull the metal out of her body, and the rest of the poison out of her body, to which, yeah, she does it. She manages to pull what's left of the metal out of her body and goes in the Avatar state. And now she's at full power again. She's headed back to Republic City to face Kuvira and anyone, and restore balance. Yeah. Shit's about to go down. And Toph is just like, finally, peace and quiet. Again, a really great episode. Just some great moments in here. Again, a lot of focus is on here through Ikki. Again, this is why I call it the Ikki episode. Because a lot of the focus is on her. And it is incredible. This is an incredibly good episode. It was nice to see, Tenzin's kids finally kind of get the spotlight, even though the middle child got the most spotlight. And, yeah, I am really excited to see the episode when she finally returns. And I know things in Zaofu ain't gonna go, there's gonna be a big throwdown in Zaofu, and it ain't gonna be good. All in all, again, absolutely love this episode. I am really sad that Korra's gonna be ending soon. And it was getting good. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Anyway, guys, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? I don't know anyone who would hate this episode. I don't know who anyone would hate these past few episodes. Because, seriously, they've all been pretty fucking sweet. And we all know, you know it, I know it, that when Korra returns to Republic City, shit is gonna go down. Yeah. So, anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and, yeah, I will see you guys later.